What's up, you guys? Happy Tuesday. All right, so I said yesterday, don't spend all this time getting into your video, so let's not do that. So I want to talk about consistency, okay? I feel like this is the time of year where everyone's like, okay, I'm gonna shift my life, I'm gonna do these things. And ultimately, you guys, I don't think that's bad, right? Like, I think life is cyclical, and I think if we're like, every month should feel the same, to me personally, that doesn't feel like it's very flowy, and it just doesn't feel like real life, right? Like, I know for me that I tend to stay in more in December. I tend to want to sit around and watch movies, which is something I never do, right? Like, I have a different flow and a different feel in December than I do in January, right? And I'm not a huge resolution person. I don't believe that, like, you need to wait till that one day of the year to change your mind or to change your life, but I do usually have sort of this like reset, this looking at the past year of where I've been, and I kind of do that monthly anyway, but like looking at like where I've been, where do I want to go, setting goals, looking at numbers, setting out the vision, like doing that kind of stuff, right? So I think that's really important. But if you guys know my backstory, like I've been in the fitness industry for a very, very long time, and now I'm more on the business side or the entrepreneur side. But the thing that I see across the board is it doesn't matter what your goal is. Consistency is what's going to get you there, right? So if you want to change how your body looks, you want to change how your body feels, you want to change your health, you want to grow your business, you want to, be happier, you want to have a better relationship, you want to be a better parent, like it doesn't matter. Consistency is the thing, right? And what happens, in my opinion, with resolutions is that we're like, I'm going a bajillion miles an hour, right? Like I'm going all in, and I'm going to do all of the things, right? Like I'm going to do 15 different things in January to make sure that all the things I need to do in my life are successful, okay? Usually that comes with creating rules. And if you've never heard me talk about rules and boundaries, there's a big problem there, right? Because I lived in rules. Like I had an eating disorder. I had all these rules of things that had to happen. I had all of that for a very long time, right? And rules are made to be broken. You will fail and you will quit, okay? So what happens is people are like, I'm gonna do all of these things, and then it's not possible to usually do all of those things, right? And then there is no consistency, and then we fall off, right? But I want you guys to think about something else. Like, there's two pieces. What if you just shifted a little bit every day, right? Like Brandon and I were talking this morning about like doing the non-sexy work and being like 1% better today than you were yesterday. That's consistency, right? Like getting up at the same time, going to bed, working on your health, reaching out to people on Facebook. Like it literally doesn't matter what this is, health, business, life. It's across the board. It's the same thing. But to me, the bigger question is not that you need to be consistent, right? We probably all understand that. We probably understand the compound effect. If you haven't read The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, go read it. He didn't really come up with it, but his book is amazing, right? Super easy read, and it really makes you understand that how daily action really compounds on itself. But I want you guys to think about this, and now I'm going to switch a little bit more to the business side, but I want you to think about why you're not consistent, okay? Because the why you're not consistent is probably more important than like trying to create this mass amount of consistency, okay? So to me, there's the old saying, and I say it all the time, that fear pushes us until vision pulls us, right? So to me, if you don't have this vision and you're not in alignment with where you want to go in your business, in your health, in any of those things, that vision needs to pull you, right? And if you're pushing and if you're like, I got to do the things, I don't want to go to the gym, I don't want to run my business, I don't want to do any of this stuff, you're not going to show up consistently, right? You're just not. But if you're being pulled by something, if you have a vision, if you have a why, if you have a desire, if you have like this burning thing to get stuff accomplished and to show up for yourself and to show up for your life and to show up for your business, then you're going to do it. Okay. So for me, there's two reasons. So I was talking to a buddy of mine who's also a coach a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about consistency, right? And I asked him, I was like, do you feel like the business you're trying to build is really in alignment with who you are and where you want to go, right? And his answer was, well, not really, right? And so if you're a coach, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're in direct sales and you're like, I just can't get myself to be consistent, right? You need to step back and go, okay, well, is this in alignment with what I really want to be doing? Is the business I'm building really where I want to go in my life? Is this what I want to do in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, right? And if it's not, you're not going to show up consistently, right? If you're like, oh, I want this thing, but it doesn't really align with who you are or what you're doing, you're not going to show up for it, right? So if you're running a coaching business and you're not super clear on who your ideal avatar is, how you're going to help them, the outcome they're going to get, any of that kind of stuff, it's going to be really hard to show up consistently because you don't know what you're saying, and it's hard to create content when you don't have clarity. And if they're not the people that you really want to serve, like if you're over here doing this and you really want to do this, you're not going to show up, right? So I think consistency also often has to do with vision and desire and really being in alignment with where you want to go, okay? since we're talking about health, it's the same with your health, right? If you're like, I need a six pack to feel like I'm worthy, like chasing that six pack, I did that for years, you guys. That's why I use that example. But like chasing that six pack is never going to motivate you because it's not really the real thing, right? Like the worthiness is an internal desire, need, whatever you want to call that. So, right, like look at, are you chasing external things or internal things? Okay. So, I believe that you're not consistent because you're not in alignment with where you want to go, or that you don't have a strategy, right? You don't have a strategy, you don't have a structure, and you're just like, it's overwhelming. I have all of these things. I have a million things on my to-do list, and I just don't know how to do any of them, so I'm going to do nothing, right? So for so many entrepreneurs, they're like, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do this, and I need to do that. And there's no simple systems that make it easy to say, okay, I get up each day. This would be for your life, right? Your daily method of operation. You should get up, you should have morning routine, you should have the things you do during the day, you should be working for 25 minutes, taking 5 minutes off, having a lunch breaking, having an end of the day. Like you need structure. I'm gonna do a video tomorrow on structure and flow and why you need structure to create flow. But if you are in overwhelm and you have too many things to do in this long list of 85 things that you need to get done that you never get done, you're also not going to show up consistently because you don't have a plan of action and you don't have something that you can execute, right? You have a to-do list that just wears you down and feels like you never got anything done, but you don't actually execute. So if you're struggling with consistency in your business, in your coaching, and growing your life and growing your abundance, you need to look, are you in alignment with what you're trying to show up and do? And it could be both, or are you just stuck in the overwhelm, the chaos, and you actually need a simple system, okay? I believe you need both. You need to be in alignment first, and then you need a simple system, okay? So if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a coach, you're a service-based provider, and you're not inside the Invincible Entrepreneur, my private Facebook group, come in there. We talk so much about this. It's an amazing community of really supportive people where we go through both, right? How to get in alignment. So we do the energy side of the business and the part of you that's important. And then we also do really simple strategy and structure so that you can start getting those leads and really building your business. So if you're not in there, let me know. I'll get you an invite. Hope you guys are having an amazing Tuesday, and I'll chat with you tomorrow.